Okay, hello and welcome everyone to all the viewers and listeners. Today is 5th of June, and I'm sure you all have obviously kept track of the results of the elections. Uh, Nevertheless, a small discussion regarding the results of the election. Now, looking at the numbers, the mandate that has been given to the BJP, it is obviously bordering on the line of majority. So, they have managed to secure 294 seats in the lower house of the parliament. Now, obviously, they will form a government quite comfortably. There is no doubt about that. Now, there are probably a few of the seats on which BJP was expected to win, but did not end up securing the win. All right. So the party-wise breakdown of uh, the total number of seats that the leading political parties have managed to secure is the Bharatiya Janata Party, that is BJP, has comfortable 240 seats. So, all right, nothing close to what they had predicted, but that's how the elections go. You can never predict how things. How, what is the sentiment of the people and how are the people exactly thinking. I guess the Bharat Jodo Yatra and all the other shenanigans by Rahul Gandhi have managed to change the opinion of the people. All right, so Indian National Congress, they have managed to score 99, just one short of 100 seats. Samajwadi Party, surprisingly, has managed to get 37 seats. Now, majority of these seats have come from the state of Uttar Pradesh. That was quite surprising because now a lot of development works have been done. But I would say this also indicates how the politics of that state matter, because these were the Lok Sabha elections and people have voted uh, keeping in mind the central government. Whereas if you look at the state government, the state legislature, BJP still occupies majority of the seats. So yes, it definitely was a setback for the ruling party to lose some of the seats to the Samajwadi Party and all the other candidates in the state of Uttar Pradesh, because the state of Uttar Pradesh holds a majority of seats in the Lok Sabha, that is somewhere close to 81. So yeah, it will definitely call for some degree of introspection about how exactly did they manage to lose half of the seats to the other parties. All right, next comes the All India Trinamool Congress, the Mamata Banerjee party. They have managed to secure 29 seats in the lower house of the parliament. Now, again, the states of Uttar Pradesh and the state of West Bengal were definitely a letdown, because we are aware of the development works that were undertaken in the state of Uttar Pradesh. However, in the state of West Bengal, we do see that there is some simmering discontent among people regarding the administration of the Mamata Banerjee government, but it did not show up in the voting. So I guess the ruling party needs to introspect how do they go uh, deeper into the areas, the rural areas of West Bengal and even Uttar Pradesh for that matter. How can they spread their message? Because a commoner, a normal person who works, a blue collar worker or a white collar worker, is not exactly aware of how the politics work. He or she might not be aware about what is the difference between the elections of the Lok Sabha and elections of the state legislature. So there is a considerable backlog in the understanding of people. Yesterday when I spoke to a few people, they were talking as if the state governments were going to change, but little do they know that these were Lok Sabha elections, the union legislature elections, not the state legislature ones. So there is a considerable backlog among people, among the grasp and the understanding of how democracy functions. So I guess, yeah, it's somewhat the education sector of our country to blame for the misunderstanding of democracy. There are some regional parties as well that have promised to form an alliance in the NDA with the BJP. Two of those parties are JDU, that is Janata Dal United. For those of you who don't know, JDU is a political party from the state of Bihar and is led by Nitish Kumar. Now, Nitish Kumar has had a history of changing political sides when it comes to sharing of power and when it comes to taking opportunity. But from the past few terms, he has been solidly backing the BJP. So let's see. Another one is TDP, the Telugu Desam Party, that is in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. They have managed to secure a majority. The party's candidate was Pawan Kalyan, and yeah, they've managed to secure majority. That is 16 seats. They have managed to secure 16 seats in the union legislature, and they will be joining hands with Janata Dal United to form a coalition government at the center with the Bharatiya Janata Party. So let's see. So this brings out the this brings out the shortcomings of the democratic model when we apply to the state of Bharat, because we have regional voices that trump the overall pan India sentiment. And forgive me for using that word India, because I really don't agree with it, but nevertheless, so this indicates that there are regional voices, and those regional voices trump all the other union voices, or all the other pan Bharat voices that we have. Because if you look at the entire Bharat in that sense, you see that there has been awakening from the right end of the political spectrum, that is people more on the conservative or the traditional side. And but there are regional parties, and they have regional alliances, and regional alliances more than often are based on caste lines. So this is something that BJP managed to underestimate, the importance of caste lines, and that is where the Samajwadi Party managed to overpower BJP in their state of Uttar Pradesh. All right. Other small parties, Shiv Sena has managed to secure 7 seats, and there are other regional parties that have managed to secure 2 or 3 seats. And in the upcoming days, we will definitely see how do they contribute to the alliance, that is NDA. Okay. Next is USA. All right. Now there is this image in our heads about USA being the promised land, meaning it is the land of the free, meaning you can go there and realize any given dream that you have. You can go in the land of America and be whoever you want to be. Now yes, there is some degree of truth to this narrative that America is the dreamland, but what that has done is it has attracted a lot of illegal migration from all across the world. Since it is the dreamland, everyone across the world, they think that they deserve their right to go to the dreamland and chase the American dream. So what that has done is America has been a victim of illegal migration from all the borders on its all the borders that it has on its proximities, from Canada, from Mexico, from Latin America, from the Gulf countries. So basically from all across the world, people want to go to USA, more specifically from Mexico, because Mexico has a land border to US. And this has been a very big political issue in the American politics, the issue of illegal migration. Usually, the Democrats are perceived as people who go soft on immigrants, whereas the Republicans are more on the patriotic side, sons of soils kind of a thing, and they are hardliners on the policy of immigration. So very recently, Joe Biden, who is a Democrat, he has come up with a strict policy at the US Mexico border. However, it's a half hearted measure, I would say. It's not going the whole 9 yards. He is stopping right in the middle. So, there is an asylum ban that Joe Biden has announced for people who are caught illegally on the US Mexico border. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions to be considered, such as women, children, people who are exploited politically and for whatever reasons. So yes, so if you are caught getting illegally inside the borders of the United States at the US Mexico border, you will be apprehended and sent back. So this was something that was refreshing coming from a democratic side. So I guess they've realized that migration is a big issue, and they have realized the sentiment of the Native American people, that they want their land, their culture to be protected from the incoming illegal migrants. So yes, this definitely shows some change in stance of the Democrats related to the immigration policy. There are some statistics that the website of Reuters puts up. So these statistics are that daily the US border arrests average 4,300 per day in April. In the month of April, on the US Mexico border, there were 4,300 arrests every day in the month of April. Now, these were illegal immigrants trying to cross the border from Mexico into the United States. So, yeah. I guess this idea of allowing immigrants, this idea of being a global citizens, needs a major revisitation from all across the world, because when you grow as a country, when you develop as a nation, you attract a lot of migrants. And as we have seen from the example of Bharat, and even the examples of Western European countries such as Germany, UK, and France, immigrants coming from other countries are not always friendly to the native culture. So yes, it does risk. There is a considerable amount of risk involved when you let in a lot of immigrants and don't pay attention towards how are they behaving in your society, how do they undermine your cultural traditions. So yeah, this was refreshing from the democratic side. Let's see how do they implement the ban. And this should be noted that United States is definitely going to undergo elections this year, and let's see, does it have any bearing on the vote that Biden or Trump receives. Yesterday was 4th of June. 4th of June is a very important date in the country of China and Taiwan as well. 4th of June is supposed to be the day that is remembered as a Tiananmen Massacre Day or Tiananmen Square Day. So, for those of you who don't know, let me give you a brief lesson on history. Tiananmen is a place in the mainland China where there were pro-democracy protesters in the year of 1989. They were brutally killed and murdered. So imagine using this, okay, in a country where citizens are protesting, you use military tanks to quell the protests. This says a lot about the character of the state that you have. So, in the year of 1989, there were pro-democracy protesters. They gathered on the Tiananmen Square after long-held negotiations with the state, the Communist Party. They refused to vacate that place, and frustrated with no outcome out of the negotiation, the state lost its temper. The state lost its cool, and they let out military tanks to deal with the protesters. So yesterday was an anniversary. The Chinese Communist Party wants to wipe the slate clean. They do not want the world to remember what happened on the 4th of June in 1949. But outside of mainland China, there are people who still remember this day and do not want the entire world to, forget it. So the country of Taiwan, they also commemorate this day. because Taiwan, I guess, when the communist and then when the I would say the great leap forward in the history of China, like as they like to call it. So the turning the entire country into a communist society, but there were a few people who did not agree with the popular opinion of going ahead with the communist style of government. So they protested because they wanted democracy. So slowly and steadily, the Communist Party you know they managed to throw them out, and majority of them managed to migrate to the island that is Taiwan today. So Taiwan today is a democratic society, whereas China, as we know, is a communist society. So yeah, so people who think that freedom and everything comes at zero cost, there is a lot of cost that has been borne by the previous generations, and hence we are bearing the fruits of those efforts. So, democracy and freedom of speech, do not take it for granted. It comes after a lot of bloodshed. All right. So, there were several silent marches in the Hong Kong as well. Now that Hong Kong is under the administrative rule of China, so there also we see some crackdown on activists, democracy activists who try to commemorate this day of Tiananmen massacre. So there has been this statement by the president of Taiwan regarding the same thing, and I'm quoting him verbatim. This reminds us that democracy and freedom do not come easily, and that we must build consensus with democracy and respond to authoritarianism with freedom. All right. So he is reiterating the point that I already mentioned: is democracy and freedom are not free of cost. The day we start taking democracy and freedom of expression as granted is the day we undermine the efforts and the bloodshed of the previous generations that have bestowed upon us this great gift of democracy and freedom of speech. So yeah, never take it for granted. You never know. All right. Now, this ongoing war in the Gulf region between Hamas and the State of Israel is spiraling towards a full out blown war, because there are constantly negotiations going on, ceasefire negotiations going on between the Jewish state and the Islamist group that is Hamas, and I would say that there has been a statement from the spokesperson for Hamas, and I would read that statement verbatim. I am not adding anything from my side. This is a statement from Osama Hamdan. He is an Hamas official, and he had given a press conference live, and this was his statement. We cannot agree to an agreement that doesn't secure, guarantee, and ensure a permanent ceasefire. Okay, a complete withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, and completing a serious swap deal accordingly. Alright, so first of all, they're talking about a permanent ceasefire. Alright, now let me ask Osama Hamdan a question. Prior to October 7, when you perpetrated that brutality and you telecasted live on the internet platforms for the entire world to see, wasn't there a ceasefire in place? So there is something for you to contemplate upon. We are going towards an order. All right, we are going towards an order where morals and principles do not matter anymore. All right, the West, the so-called powerful West, has sat down and negotiated with terrorists of Taliban in the country of Afghanistan, and they're sitting down and negotiating with the militant people of Hamas. So we are going towards a society where morals and principles do not matter. It's only a question of self-interest. So yeah, so they are requesting, these are the conditions put forward by Hamas in order for a permanent ceasefire, for which there is no guarantee that they will not overturn this commitment of permanent ceasefire or not. If they really wanted a permanent ceasefire, it would have been possible in the year of 1979. But even successive wars, even post 1979, there are multiple wars that have been fought with the Jewish nation. And if they really wanted a permanent ceasefire, okay, it would have been achieved by now. So the larger goals of this militant organization that is Hamas is something else. If they really wanted a ceasefire, if they really wanted a welfare for the common Palestinian people, it would have been achieved by now. Next one is Israel and Egypt. Okay, Egypt is one country that is considered to be of the that has some proximity with the Arab culture, although Egypt is a country in the African continent, but it is more proximate to the Arab traditions and Arab culture. We don't know why that is, but that's how it is in the current age. We don't know what was the nature of the population of Egypt in the ancient times, but currently it is considered to be more proximate towards the Arab way of living and Arab culture and Arab traditions. So Egypt was one of the first countries that negotiated a peace treaty with Israel after fighting wars in the years of 1948, 56, 67, and 73. All right, so there are 4 wars that Egypt fought with the state of Israel, and finally, pragmatism ruled supreme, and they managed to iron out a peace treaty in the year of 1979. And keep in mind, Egypt is the only country that has negotiated a peace treaty with it and has kept its word. It has completely sealed off its borders with the Gaza Strip. And there are quite many photos on the internet. You can see how has Egypt fortified its borders with Gaza. So yeah, now this current conflict, the current spiraling war between these two states, between these two parties, and one of the parties is a fully fledged democratic state, and the other party is a militant organization. So the current spiraling war between these two states, they threaten this hard achieved peace treaty between Egypt and Israel, because what it does is it creates some mistrust between both the countries, because we know there is a lot of misinformation going on out there on social media platform related to the war going on. So it becomes really difficult to determine what is the truth and what is misinformation. So yeah, Egypt also plays the role of a mediator along with Qatar, US, to negotiate a ceasefire. As a supplementary to this, there are many European Union countries that are recognizing Palestine as a state. I wonder what is the end goal of this exercise. Very recently, Slovenia is the one that has recognized Palestine as a state. Now, let us see, there are other countries as well, such as Spain, Ireland, and Norway. They also have recognized Palestine as an independent state. I recognize why that is. What is the end goal over here? Is it to, put more pressure on the state of Israel to tone down its offensive against Hamas? But I don't really know how this works. The Prime Minister of Slovenia had put out a post on social media platform, that is X. So let me read that exact post. It says, "Today's recognition of Palestine as a sovereign and independent state sends hope to the Palestinian people in the West Bank and in Gaza." I don't know what kind of hope are they sending to the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine by recognizing it as a state. Okay. So, unless and until there are fair elections in the region that we call today Palestine, I don't think there is a possibility of concrete peace in that piece of land. So, there is this constant narrative about that the Hamas was actually it is a legitimately elected democratic body. So does that mean that the people of Palestine voted for the militant terrorists of Hamas? Now there is this constant rebuttal given to that argument that no, people of Gaza did not vote for them, and so were the conditions, and only a 10% of the people voted for it. So what are you proposing? All right, with whom should we negotiate peace? Like I said, we are moving towards a society where morals and principles do not matter. We sit down and negotiate with terrorists. Right, there are multiple examples: Taliban in the Afghanistan, Hamas in Israel, many other terrorist outfits, militant outfits in the countries of northern Africa as well. So where exactly is, the morals and the principles of society moving towards? All right, that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video.